Yo, what's going on, everyone? I don't know why I'm wearing these. I actually don't need to be wearing them, but welcome back to another installment of the tier lists. We've been focusing a lot on the debate show On The Spot. If you haven't seen it for whatever reason, I'll link the playlist down there. I should make a playlist. I don't know how I haven't, but I'm going to link that down in the description below. But today, we're focusing on a tier list full of managers in the Premier League, where they're ranked, S tier obviously being the best and D tier obviously being the worst. I have a good bunch because there's some decent managers in the league. Obviously, if you like what you see, like, share, comment, subscribe, all that jazzy stuff. But without further ado, let's get into it. The inside of my cheek, yeah? Oh my lord. I'm gonna start with, I believe it's pronounced Bruno. I believe it's pronounced Laga. Portuguese fella. Don't know much about him, but from what I have seen, he's come from Portugal with a small bit of pedigree as a young manager. Won the league with them in 2019, if I'm not mistaken. From what I have seen, went down very well with the Benfica faithful. Now, how that's gonna translate into the Premier League with Wolves? We won't know. It's not a lot of Premier League experience there. And compared to the managers that we have all on this list, I have to put him down here, just neutral thing, you get me? But if I'm wrong, you think he deserves maybe a tier up, then no problem. I ain't gonna fight you, I ain't gonna hold you. But just don't kill me in the comment if you want, I don't really care. But do your thing. He's going D tier, okay? Now we got Big Brendan, A tier. Easy for me, very easy. Obviously, he's fighting against a lot of these top 6 teams, just to finish in the top 6. And to do that with the squad of players that he has compared to the rest of the teams that he's fighting against is excellent. Tactically, he's fantastic, and he's been doing that since his Liverpool days, to be fair. What he had to work on a lot, in my opinion, was his man management, because at Liverpool it wasn't where it needed to be, in my opinion. Obviously, the Raheem Sterling situation, just generally being a motivating character, you could just tell by not even being in the dressing room if he wasn't that guy. Maybe he's still not that guy, but he's definitely improved from that aspect of things. A real student of the game right here, and you can tell just by how his players developed, how much time and effort he puts into a club. So he's going to be next in line for a big job once it becomes available. But A tier is where he's going to be right now. If you disagree, then you're wrong. But tell me why maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. Just this 4K fella. Listen, when he was in the Prem 2 years ago, Norwich weren't great. And they didn't impress me literally whatsoever. Defensively, they were really bad. Offensively, they could do some things, but in the grand scheme of things, they were bad. And this year, I just don't know about their team, man. They got some individual players that I like, but in totality, yeah, I just don't see it, man. And could a better manager come in and take Norwich to different levels? Yes. But the project in general is not going to inspire anyone to come in. So this is the best in what they got right here. I just don't see Norwich getting like a universally better manager than Fake. This is not to slight him in any way. He's probably excellent. I'm not going to say I know the most about him, but in the grand scheme of things, when we're comparing him to all the managers right here, I don't know what his outstanding qualities are. Maybe he's good at a bunch of things and a master of nothing, which is not bad, but it's good enough for D tier on this list. Now we got Moyes. Hold on, let me get some. You see, this right here, this kit never sees the light of day, because this was the season where my hopes and dreams came crashing down to earth. But I'm not gonna hold my guy against that. It was obviously too much too soon, and you know what? Not even I hope. I know he's learned a lot from that situation right now. He's going B tier on the list. It's fair, I think, mainly because, especially when he was at Everton, he's just Premier League proven quality. You understand? He kept Everton a consistent top 10 finishing side. He even qualified 1 year for the Champions League, which for their standards is great considering where they're at right now. The work he did at West Ham last year, fantastic. He made West Ham a very solid team, easy to root for, hard to beat. Obviously, the development of their players, Rice, you see Kufau's doing really well. they've built on what they had in Antonio, in Cresswell, in Fabianski. Souček's come in. Like, it's just been really good. He's brought stability to West Ham when they've really needed it, because there's been a good few years where West Ham have been in the Premier League and they've been shaky. Do you understand? So I'm just really happy that they found a good manager that is going to at least keep them stable for the next few years. And when they do want to make maybe a jump to maybe make a push for the top 6 one time, no problem. But in terms of Premier League managers right now, B is a fair tier for him. And if you think it's too high, you can let me know why, but I think it's fair. We got Dean Smith. See, now when I compare Dean Smith to somebody like a Moyes, I think he just doesn't have enough years in the top level to be garnering the respect of an A tier or B tier. A tier is a push. Don't get it twisted. As a man manager, from what I've seen, fantastic. Okay, he's one of these managers that he can make the most out of not the most talented bunch of players. Do you know what I mean? Villa have been in the Premier League for as long as they have because of Dean Smith and because of Jack Grealish. I ain't gonna disrespect you. I'm not gonna disrespect you like that. But listen, obviously he's adapted the players that he has into systems where they can get results. They had a great result against Liverpool last year, the 7-2 victory. They've given Man United a couple problems in the past as well. Recent past, not in the past. In the recent past. Listen, as long as he keeps Villa in the Premier League, he's gonna be minimum C tier. He can only go up as he gets more experience, as he hopefully contends for maybe some trophies, maybe a cheeky Carabao Cup, a FA Cup here and there. You never know. It doesn't have to be with Villa. It could be with I don't know. If Brendan gets a big job, then Leicester could go in for him. Something like that. You know what I'm saying? But I think C tier. It's going to be interesting where Villa finish this year, but I think C tier is fair for him right now. It's not at the bottom, but it's kind of in the middle, you know? It's fine. Same thing as Potter, to be honest. A manager that you can see that he has definitely, or is definitely maximizing the best of what he can in a Brighton side, which is, excuse me, if you compare it to the Premier League giants, not even the Premier League giants, just the middle of the pack Premier League teams, their team's not that great. Now, defensively, they're nice. They got some great individual talents there, which come together to make a collective good defense. But going forwards, they do lack a little bit. And it's fine, it's fair. You know, you can't have everything if you're not a top 6 side. But then it becomes your job as a manager to identify what your team is great at and just build off of that to hopefully maintain your Premier League survival, which he's done very, very well. I think, in my opinion, what's really going to make him as a really, really good Premier League manager is, especially because their recruitment in terms of the assets going forward, it hasn't been the greatest. It's going to be very interesting to see how he's going to adapt that and make Brighton a better side than what they were last year. Because last year, going forward, it was peak. They were getting in the positions, but they were bagging. It's as simple as that. It's going to be very interesting to see how he takes basically what is a very solid defensive unit and make them a more consistent attacking team. Which, I'm not saying they have to go and break their goals record. I'm not saying nothing of the sort. I'm just saying that they have to be better than they were last year. Or it could be tough for them. And if it's tough and he gets the sack, then maybe C tier is too high for him. Maybe D tier is where he belongs. But I'm giving him C because I do rate him as a manager. I do rate him as a gaffer. Now we got Jurgen Klopp. It's fine. Listen, I don't like Liverpool, but you give the credit where the credit is due. You have to give him S tier. Champions League winner, a Bundesliga winner, a Premier League winner. Listen, it's pedigree. Do you understand? He's come and transformed Liverpool and taken them into next level things. Do you know what I mean? His development of players like Trent, Robertson, Salah, all of them, man. Really, all of their main core pieces. Except for the man that they brought in for like the larger sum of money is obviously the Alissons and the Van Dijks. They came in like basically the finished product. They just had to adapt to the Liverpool way of playing. But Joe Gomez, I forgot about him. Listen, he's done wonders for them. And there's no debate. If you're not saying that he's S tier, you need to give your head a wobble. Big man things. Now, this Arteta fella right here, this man right here, listen, I've got my problems with this Arteta fella. I'm going to tell you that. And not because of Arsenal. I don't like Arsenal. They can get relegated for all I care. Listen, my boys, you see on the spot. You see Douglas is in tatters every time we even mention Arsenal. Yeah? This man, it gives him veins in his forehead popping out. He's stressed. He's not happy. He's disappointed. Every bad feeling under the sun, it comes to my boy's head when you mention this Arteta fella's name. I don't think he maximizes this team. I don't think he maximizes what he has out of the team. Maybe the young players, you could say that obviously Saka's a very talented boy. Smith Rowe's a very talented boy. Obviously Martinelli has shown, signs of being a really good player. But your first teamers are what you're supposed to lean on to get you your 3 points. And I don't think he's done a very good job in maximizing their talents. Aubameyang, for whatever reason, has fallen off a cliff. Don't know, I don't know why, but he has. Like I said, it's just he's meaty now, innit? Their midfield's not that great. Their defense is really bad. Bellerin's fallen off a cliff also. I don't know what's happening to Bernd Leno, but Aaron Ramsdale's come in, and I don't know what the situation is there, but that's looking peak. Listen, it's just mad. And I don't know if maybe the boards gave him a bad hand with recruitment. I just don't know. But results on the pitch, it's no excuses. I'm not gonna lie. You shouldn't be getting pieced up 2-0 by Brentford, a newly promoted side. That should never be happening. Big Arsenal. No way, no how. I think the sooner that, if I'm being so honest, the sooner that Arsenal get rid of the fella. In fact, the way I'm speaking about him, get down. The way that it's going, he's going to be the first man that's going to be sacked in this whole manager's Premier League thing. And that's deservedly so. He deserves it because he's not done a very good job. And Arsenal, you did it to yourself. He's not a very experienced manager. His only experience came with Manchester City, where, to be fair, he did do his thing in terms of being a part of a good coaching staff and being a good coach. But head coach, manager's a different ballpark. And when you ain't got the experience, you ain't got the respect of the dressing room, which he evidently has either lost or never had his peak. So I'm putting him down there. It's fine. If you want to say he's higher, it's fine, cool. But he's there. You feel me? Bielsa's up there. My cheek. Do you know what it is? Do you see, once Arteta gets sacked, because it's happening, sorry to tell you, I think that Bielsa should be the #1 name on their list. He's exactly what they need. Seasoned manager with experience that spreads across Europe and South America. Okay. Been largely successful where he has been, especially with Leeds. He's developed them in the sense that they done really, really well to finish where they did in the top 10 last year in the Prem. Their style of play was extremely intense, one of the more intense ones in the league. They create chances high up the pitch. He gives his team a chance every game. Do you understand? And he's so meticulous in the way that he prepares. Sometimes it blows up in his face because maybe he thinks about it a bit too hard. Sometimes you just need to put yourself out there and not be scared to fail. Now, sometimes it ends up in a 5-1 loss, but sometimes it ends up in a 5-2 win. You feel me? And there's a lot of teams that could use a manager of his ilk. You feel me? If you don't think he's there, then I'd love to know your reason why. But for me, he's better than, there's so many, it's not even funny. All these managers down here. And in the world, in general, there's a lot of teams that could use a Bielsa. We got Nuno. Jesus. Nuno go and beat it. Again, for the simple fact that I think it's becoming a thing. The best managers know how to get the most out of whatever their situation is. Wolves, in general, I haven't been a big fan of how they play. Mainly, they're a very defensive team. And, Jimenez is just going to sneak one in and probably win the game for them. Adama Traore is going to make your fullback look silly and not much to it. Or Pedro Neto's a really tasty little baller as well. But other than that, listen, I don't like watching Wolves, innit? Or I didn't used to. But you see this Nuno fella, yeah? But you see this Nuno fella. I give him his credit. Listen, he's come in. He had a plan to make Wolves solid, make them hard to beat, and make them one of the more respectable teams in the Premier League. He's done that. In terms of man management, no questions, no query. No queries. You can just see it by the development of players in the team. And I especially like how he's tried to give chance to young players. You've seen it a little bit with Tottenham now, and you've seen it with Wolves in the past. Obviously, Gibbs White. Obviously, I can't pronounce his name, but the Dutch fullback. You know I'm talking about, the Hoover fella. He nice, he good, and he's going to have a future. Obviously, Nori was there last year, the left back. he gives his young players a chance and puts them in a great position to succeed. He knows how to keep people happy in terms of playing games because he takes players in what they're good at and adapts them into his system. I can only respect Nuno. I can only respect it. The only thing that's going to get him higher is just more years in this team. Yeah, feel me? Once he clocks more years, more success, more greatness, he's going A, no question about it. And I'm very happy that Tottenham have given him a chance to hopefully prove his worth, because I think he can be a really good manager in this league, in the world. Same thing can go with Ole. Oh, whoopsies. Same thing can go with Ole. Listen, yeah. First of all, I want to tell you Arsenal fans that if you didn't know, now you know. Ole and Arteta are not the same, okay? Arteta's experience only expands this much, where at least Ole had a little bit of experience, first team manager at Molde, yeah? No way, he grafted his thing, and I'm not saying that he would have been my first choice. I'm not saying that he's going to be my United manager for the next flipping 10 years. Maybe he is, and if he is, then I'm not mad. But listen, it's clear to me that he has a plan in how he wants Man United to play, okay? And he's told the board to buy players that are going to fit that counter-attacking kind of system. Whether you like it or not, he's got players that fit the system. And that's fine. That's cool. I love his approach when it comes to bleeding in young players. I feel like him more than anyone can maximize a team. We came second with McFred in our midfield. At the end of the day, you got to put your PE teacher bias aside and just respect my man. Respect my gaffer. He's decent. I'm not saying he's great. I'm not saying he's one of the best out here, but he's respectable. You feel it. If you want to put him down here, no problem. You feel me? As long as he's not in Arteta levels. You get me? But he's just growing and growing in his role as Man United every year. Success has... I was about to say success has just been following us all the time. It hasn't. But you can see the steps that he's taken to hopefully get us to the level where we need to be. B tier is where he's going to stay. And if you don't like it, that's your thing. I'm going to put Pep up here. No, really, nothing to say about it, really. Probably the best in the league. Him or Klopp, take your pick. He's up there in S. Patrick Vieira, now listen. Patrick! Patrick! I gotta put him down here. It's just not enough. In terms of his experience, it's just not there, to be honest with you. Let me check something real quick. You know, his time in New York was fine. I ain't gonna hold it. Listen, they were a new team, especially when he started. They were dead. But then you could see the progress. They finished, I believe it was in the top 4, and then I know he finished second in one of the years. I think his final year there. Time at Nice, peak, he got sacked. Okay, that's not great. And obviously I'm not too aware of the situation there, but cool. And I know he's been touted for a job in the Prem for a long time. You know, Newcastle came to mind. I know probably Arsenal probably looked at him a little bit because of his ties at that club. Obviously he was at City gaining a little bit of experience for a little bit of time. But I just don't know. And listen, Crystal Palace have a nice team, and I hope he can prove me wrong, just in terms of, it's going to be interesting to see how their players develop. It's going to be interesting to see if they survive in the Premier League or not. You never know, they could get relegated, who knows? They went from basically a really... I wasn't the biggest fan of Roy Hodgson, but he was a stable Premier League manager, to somebody who's more of a risk, definitely, but it could be just a stroke of the magic wand. It could be a master stroke. It could be a thing where he takes Palace to new levels where they've never been before. And if he does that, great. But until I see it, he's down there indeed. Rafa Benitez, I mean, just off of pedigree, he has to be B. Objectively, I think he has to be B. But I just don't know, man. I just don't know about Rafa. He's never been one in terms of... Players say great things about him, but from what I have seen, the way he does deal with his players is very old. He has a very old school mentality, which might not fly in 2021. So he might rub a lot of players the wrong way sometimes. I just don't know. He's just never been one of those people who man management has been his main focus. He's always been focused about how we play on the pitch, how we adapt to my kind of style. It's not very exciting, but it gets results at the end of the day. His time at Newcastle was okay. He kept them up, but I just don't know. He does have pedigree, which is literally the only reason why you have to respect it and you have to put him in B. You can't put him lower than a Solskjaer, in my opinion. But I just don't know. I don't really have a lot to say about Rafa, but you can let me know in the comment section below. But if I'm just being a bit too respectful, or I need to, you know, pull the finger out and put him down and see. The Southampton manager, because me, I can't pronounce his name. Hans. He's good to see. He's good. He's a good little gaffer, to be honest. Has done very well to maximize what he has done out of a very weak Southampton team, in my opinion. If too many things go against them, they could go down, but that's another story for another day. I think style of play is really good, and he's got like a Bielsa tendency in the terms of he's not scared to fail. In terms of he'll give his team the best chance against whatever opposition that they're facing against. He'll tactically adapt, and sometimes it blows up in his face, but that's fine. I can respect managers who try, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's okay to fail, sometimes it's okay to look silly, because at the end of the day, as long as people kind of see what you're trying to do, that's fine. That goes a long way in my book. It goes a long way. Nah, somebody who, in my opinion, maybe doesn't do that enough is the Steve Bruce fella. I've never liked him. Objectively, I think you can't be putting him in the caliber of the Artetas and the Vieiras, the inexperienced ones. Well, Vieira's more experienced than Arteta, but that's another. You know what I mean. I just don't like the guy in terms of his play style. It's Steve Bruce, man. It's like making a ham sandwich with stale bread. It's dry. It's not it. It's. If you're hungry, you can eat it, but like at the end of the day, it's just not what you want, is it? If you bring in Steve Bruce into your club, it's for the sole purpose of you're trying to survive. You're not trying to progress in terms of being one of the really good mid-table to top 6 Premier League sides, okay? You're literally just trying to survive. And however that comes is however Steve Bruce sees fit. And I don't like it. Yes, he can maximize a squad, but it's the playstyle for me, man. He ain't it. Sorry. And I think the same thing can go for Sean Dyche, you know. I don't like Burnley. I don't like the way they play. So naturally, Sean Dyche isn't one of my favourite gaffers. But listen, I think the difference between Steve Bruce and Sean Dyche is that I know for guaranteed that because of the length of time that Sean Dyche has been there, he has a big say in the kind of players that they do get. And obviously the players that come into the first team. Once he gets players that fit his system and fit the way Burnley want to play, you never hear bad. The camera cut there, but we're back. All I was saying before, Sean Dyche is good, and I will give him his credit where credit is due, but don't like his style of play. Again, I'm putting him down there only because I don't know about him now. You see when they face Arsenal, yeah? Oh, I was so impressed. I was so impressed. Arsenal's not a great team, but at the end of the day, they're one of the better teams in the league, right? And his approach against them, they just made it a tough time for them all day. I didn't watch the match in great detail, I must admit, but every time I looked up, Brentford were pressing Arsenal, pinning them into tight situations and winning the ball high up the pitch. And at the end of the day, in modern day football, that's going to be your best chance in winning a game against a team that you're not naturally better than. He did really good. Now, I'm going to say that I need to see that more over the next coming months of this Premier League season. But give him his credit, he's hard, okay? He's that guy. He's done very well. Now, I need to see that over. Now, as I said, I need to see it over a longer period of time for me to really give him his respect. He could easily move up here. I'm not even going to hold you. I know Brentford were a very entertaining side in the Championship last year. They scored a bag of goals. But this Prem thing, I'm putting him there, I think. Ooh, I might be being harsh, you know. But I'm going to put him there. If I'm wrong, then you'll let me know, I think. Thomas Tuchel, it's not debate, really and truly, is it? It's S. Came into Chelsea, transformed them. Tactically, he's one of the best managers in the Premier League. Yeah, I don't know, man. He's just made Chelsea so hard to beat, especially this year now with the signings that they've made. That just fits in so nicely into their team. It's going to be hard to beat them, man. It's going to be hard to beat them, in my opinion, man. And obviously, he's come from pedigrees. PSG manager, great success with them. Obviously, Dortmund, we know his success with them. Just give him his flowers. LioneSs. And then this Cisco fella, Watford manager. To round it off, I'm putting him down there. Only because I don't know much about him. But do I see him objectively being a better manager than anybody above him? I don't. So he fits in there nicely. But that's going to be the tier list for today. Let me know how you think it went. Let me know if you think I did the mad thing on anybody's name. Let me know if I got it right. But until then, like, share, comment, subscribe, all that jazzy stuff. We'll see you in the next video. Whatever it is, it most likely will be on the spot. But take it easy. Have a good day. Yes, sir.